All right, I think it's on and popping. What's going on? It's your man Jay, and got my man Night Tech with me today. So definitely out of the norm, a live stream on a Tuesday morning. But the Mate 20, the Huawei event was just announced, and we're going to talk about it for a minute. So if you at work, which I know a lot of you guys are at work, I gotta get up in the live chat real quick. Also, I know a lot of you guys are at work. And as soon as I start the stream, my wife calls. A lot of you guys are at work, and you're gonna have to sit us down in the corner and watch and put your headphones in, because we're gonna get it chopped up here for a little bit. We're gonna talk about this. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm gonna open up this live chat real quick in a different. I gotta open up the feed so I can see the chat in a different window. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining in. For the people that can take a second to get away from work, get away from work real quick. I know you guys you love tech. I mean, you're here because you love tech. So I need to go ahead and let me step out for a second. Night Tech, grab this for a minute because my wife is calling like big time. So I got to introduce my man, Night Tech, real fast. Take it, Night.
What's good, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your boy, Night Tech, and we're going to chop it up today about the Huawei Mate series devices, the Mate 20 series devices that were released today. Well, not released. They were announced today. And they go on, pre-sale, I believe, in Europe and those countries. Nothing so far for the US, but we are going to chop it up today about the specs, what Huawei announced today, the big things, some of the things that we liked and disliked. Let me just turn the brightness up on my phone so I can see what's going on in the chat. We got the questions rolling in already. How can we get the the Mate 20 in the United States? I don't know yet. That was a big question I had. If it's even coming to the US, we don't even know. It could be that they just didn't announce it. It could end up as on Amazon. It could be the case that Huawei has given up on the US completely. But what's good? What's good, Mark C? What's good, Gary Brown? We got Munchie in the chat. Tech Fanatic was good. I'm not finding any info on the Huawei Mate 20 RS or Mate 20X. You have to type in Mate, whatever you're looking for, type in Huawei Mate 20 RS specs or Mate 20X specs into Google search. You'll start seeing things. I can't show off the Vivo Nex right now because I'm actually using it to live stream right now. This is the front camera of the Vivo Nex. So I'm using my iPhone. So yeah, I can't actually show you the Vivo Nex because I'm using it. Sorry about that. The Huawei event started today at 9 a.m. I believe it was. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lasted for an hour and a half. And they announced some crazy stuff that a lot of these phones out right now don't have and should have. But we're going to wait for Jay to come back before we start getting into it. I'm not going to lie. There were certain things that I got really, really hyped about. And Huawei, I have to say, Huawei brung their A game this year with all the devices, in my opinion. Some are better than others, but hey, we're gonna talk about it.
We sure are. Appreciate you holding it down, man. Anyway, we got my man Night Tech on with me this morning. Decided to straight up just do a quick live stream. And man, I'm just getting the beeps all over the place. Oh, Lord have mercy. My bad. I'll be right back.
the Mate 20 would be the phone of the year. I don't know yet, man. Like I said, nobody has it in their hands except for the reviewers that were at the event. I don't know, man. The cameras are supposedly same cameras as last year's P20 Pro, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
All right. I'm trying to be back this time, man. Obviously, I'm really busy in the mornings, but I wanted to do a quick live stream with my man Night Tech. Because the Mate 20 Pro, he hit me up and was like, Jay, you're not watching the event? I was like, no, man, I had some stuff to do with the church this morning. And when I finally went back, I checked it. It's a long stream that they did. But wow. Mate 20X is very impressive. I know Night Tech said he's going to get that one. The pricing is something that I'm concerned about, and whether or not it's even going to come to the U.S. That's something that I'm concerned about. Because Night Tech was he hit me up and he was telling me the prices. I caught the tail end of it, and wow, I think a lot of people are going to say I'm not paying $1,000 for that. My response to that is I don't have it yet, and then also why not? If we give $1,000 to Apple, and we give $1,000 to Samsung, and we give $1,000 to all these other people that technically are offering a little bit less, why not get them $1,000? I'm not saying that I enjoy paying $1,000. What I'm saying is how quickly we write off other companies when they produce phones and ask for $1,000. And that phone is definitely going to be $1,000 for sure. You know, so I like the design of it though. I pulled it up, checked out I just got done watching the replay. And I really like it, man. So shout out to everybody in the live stream, man. So a lot of people at work got the little monitors on the side. I appreciate you probably got your headphones in while you're at work. You know what I'm saying? And there's some people that's off today. I know technically he working from the house today because he's shooting a video. You know what I'm saying? He's shooting a video. Oops. But your people ain't gonna be watching my stream anyway. So, but yeah, the Huawei Mate 20X actually with the 7-inch display, 7.2-inch display. I think that one's extremely appealing to me. Now the Mate 20 Pro, hot. Mate 20 Pro is hot, but if we can get these in the US, Night Tech, how much do you think they're gonna run us?
Let's see. Starting price for the Mate 20, I'm gonna say $899, and then I'm gonna say $1,000 to $1,100 for the Mate 20 Pro, because that one right there is the one that is the one to get, and that one is the one with all the new features and everything. The 20X, I'm gonna say is gonna be probably like $8, because it does have some of the same features as the Pro still.
Yeah,
but more of a tablet. I wouldn't say tablet, but I don't actually know I know the screen is 7.2 inches. But it's got that, bezel-less looking design. So it could be, right, around 6.7 inches in size. We don't really know. But we already know the Porsche edition is 2,000 and up. So we ain't even worried about that one.
Yeah, the Porsche design and also the Porsche one, it's a product that a lot of people probably not. They know that a lot of people are not going to buy the Porsche design in high numbers, and they're not even going to produce a lot of them. However, it's way overpriced. I mean, it's a phone, like $2,000 for a phone.
That phone is for the people that want that rich, premium device that they could be like, yo, I stepped out my Porsche with my Porsche design Huawei phone.
Yeah, that's lame. That's lame. All phones are made of glass and plastic and metal, so there's absolutely no way they're gonna have to walk around and announce that, hey, I got this $2,000 phone. Look at me. That's really what that's about. Look at me. I spent $2,500 on a phone. That's not even that's crazy right there. That's totally a waste of money. And if I were to get it, it would be just for review purposes to say, hey, look, I got the Porsche design for review. That's it. There's nothing special about the Porsche design, in my opinion. It's just another phone with a Porsche with it, and that's it, man.
Yeah, but Huawei, they run their A game with this one, man. The specs on these devices are crazy.
I think Huawei phones are always good. It's just that in the US, man, they get shafted. Like every company outside of Samsung and Apple, they don't get a chance to shine in the US, man. They don't get a chance to shine. They really hit them hard. And because let's be real here. People say, oh, this is the phone of the year. This phone is future proof. First of all, no phone is future proof because it's going to keep changing. And then phone of the year is subjected to the person that's holding the phone. But I think some of these people that say some of these phones are phones of the year, that's because they don't experience the other phones. Like most people who own a Note 9, they only going to do Note stuff, and they feel like the S Pen is the top of the world's device. When in actuality, there's plenty of other phones out there that can perform better than the Note and pretty much do the same thing. It just doesn't have an S Pen. Think about that. Now, there's plenty of phones out there like the Note 9 that perform better, that they look better, they have better cameras, better battery, everything, but the Note has the S Pen, so people who own that device feel like it's the best in the world. And again, that's subjective, so if they like it, I love it. But those are a lot of people who own a specific device, like iPhone people might say that iPhone is the best, but that's because they don't go out and experience all the other devices, so they don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah, I hear what you're saying, but let's get into these specs, man. Let's get into these specs, Jay.
Yeah, man. Ooh, so I want to start with the X, though. I got the X at the top of my radar, man.
All right, so we'll start with the X.
7
So we already know
inches.
it has a 7.2-inch 1080p display, which that right there, we don't know what footprint it's in, though. It could be in like a maybe a 6.7-inch, maybe 6.8-inch. I don't know.
They're not telling us the measurements of the phone online. I can't find the measurements of the phone, but
yeah, I don't see it.
I saw the dummy units, and it's definitely bigger than the Mate 20 Pro. It's bigger than that.
Well, the Mate 20 Pro is actually the smallest one.
I mean, the Mate 20. I mean,
yeah, the Mate 20 6.5 inches.
Yeah. It's bigger than that one for sure. It's definitely bigger than that one, and that one is a small phone. Like both of the other ones are almost the same size for what I'm looking at. So what you do is go to GSM Arena and put in a phone that you currently have, and then you'll figure out how big these phones are. Because the Mate 20 and the Mate 20 Pro, those are just a little bit bigger than a LG G7. They're a little bit taller than an LG G7, and they're a little bit taller than a OnePlus 6 and OnePlus 6T. So that lets you know how small those phones are. However, the other one with the 7.2-inch display, it's not very big to have a 7.2-inch display. It's just it's big. Let's be honest here. It's big, but it's not that much bigger.
Okay, so I'm trying to think. My Xiaomi, what was it? The Xiaomi Mi Max 3. That thing was 6.9 inches, and it wasn't that bad. So I'm thinking if it got less bezels than that, it's still going to be depending on how big or small your hands are.
Well, he got small hands. The CEO has small hands. And look at how small it looked in his hands. You know what I'm saying? He got little hands, and he's a little dude, and it didn't even look that big in his hands, man. It's all screen. It's straight up all screen.
And then the specs on it is basically what you get in the Mate 20 Pro.
It's IP68.
The crazy part.
It's IP68. It has
that one's actually IP53.
That's the only. It says 68 on there, but okay, so it's 53.
Yeah, and the thing is at 53 in the announcement.
It's got stylus input though, and which is crazy. It's HDR10 compliant. It's running.
It has the same cameras, 5,000 milliamp battery. It has the same cameras there in the Mate 20 Pro, which is the 40, the 24, and the 8.
The X. It's just so appealing to me, man. I like the Pro and everything. I say I want that device that, you know what I'm saying, that's just going to stand apart from the crowd. That's the Vivo Nex. The Vivo Nex S stands apart from the crowd. It stands away from everybody else. To me, it stands above everybody else because innovation is something that you can't deny. Like small increments, think of Apple, Samsung, LG. You think of companies like that for small increments. But when you think of the real innovation, it's not really coming from the phones that are being released in the US. I mean, just keep it 100. It's not. The Mate 9 was a sweet device. The Mate 8, the Mate 7, all of the Mates were good phones.
Yeah.
But they don't, a lot of them don't get the recognition. You can charge, you know, I think the funniest part, the funniest part of that stream was when he took an iPhone 10. He said, when your phone dies, your 10S Max dies, put it on the back of your Huawei phone and charge it wirelessly fast. That is,
yeah, I think that's where everybody jumped in the crowd, jumped up like, oh my God. Yo, I can't lie. I went crazy. I'm like, yo, there's no phone out there. That's what Huawei threw everything into the Pro, but the kitchen sink. They threw in reverse wireless charging, rapid charging, where you could basically charge your phone from 0 to 70% in 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
I'm like, and then they did it. They just didn't do it in the wall charger. They did it in the car charger.
Yep.
Then they threw in in-display fingerprint reader,
Yep.
3 cameras, facial recognition. Like, what didn't they throw into the device?
But a lot of people would say, "Oh, nobody's been that." Somebody will find something like, "Oh, EMUI is trash," and all those things. When people say stuff like that, that's all subjective to the person. So I don't say that they're wrong. That's just their experience with it. But my experience with it is fantastic. It runs faster than Android on a stock Android phone runs fast. EMUI, in my experience, the Mate 9, ridiculously fast, man. It was ridiculously fast. There's absolutely nothing wrong with EMUI in my experience. And EMUI 10, stock Android pretty much, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, when a person says something is trash or bad, I don't say that they're wrong. Hey, that's how they feel about it, you know what I'm saying? And so it's subjective for that matter. And so I don't even have to get into that because that's their problem, not mine. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that they like that I might not like. So that's just how it works. But I don't think EMUI is a bad UI. I think it runs fast because Huawei's processor is killing. And I'm not just saying it because, the new phone launch. I've always said it. The Kirin process, and everybody who loves tech, you cannot sleep on the Kirin processors. Those things fly. And now the 980 is on the 7-nanometer chip. I know you heard them bust it out. Like you said, they threw everything out there.
Because there's only one other device out there that got it.
You know what that is? It's right there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just feel like the pricing is going to be the differentiating factor in how well these phones do. That's just all it's about. If a company brings and here's the problem with that though. People are going to quickly say, I'm not paying $1,000 for that. But why in the world am I getting ready to pay $750 for an iPhone XR? Why did I pay $1,300 for an iPhone XS Max? Even the Galaxy Note goes into the claim. Why did I pay $1,000 for that?
And what do I always say? A phone is only worth what you're willing to pay for it.
That's correct. That's right. So, and the worth is placed on the person holding it.
Exactly.
The value is placed on the person holding it. Now, on paper, people always say, well, the iPhones have better resale value. I totally agree. I could sell my iPhones and get full. I've done it, and I'm getting ready to do it again. Get ready to do it all over again. I'm selling it for more. I'm going to mark it up. And I'm going to get back what I paid for it. And as far as my Android devices, not possible. The Galaxy Note is already discounted to $800, so there's no way I can make money off of that when I sell it again. You know what I'm saying? If I were to sell it. There's no way to make money off of Android phones and anything in return. iPhones hold way better value for some reason, and that's just what it is. And I think it's because of the software updates and the way Apple stands behind their products. And also, Apple doesn't have that many phones to take care of. Android is all over the place. That's like the stepchild, like the grandfather that had 15 kids by 10 different people. That's the way Android is that seeds are just being spread everywhere. Apple, on the other hand, is like a nun. You know, it's coming out. It's just decided I'm going to change. No, let's disregard that. The fact is, Apple has better control over their products than Google, the Android software, has ever been. And it'll probably never change unless Apple or Google decides to lock away the key and take away open source, which we know that's not going to happen because they lose money when that happens. They lose money if they lock away Android and take away open source. But I think the X, man, you got that 7.2-inch display. It's 1080p, but it's AMOLED. And I don't think it's super. No, it's not super AMOLED. It's AMOLED. And
isn't it? I thought it was LCD.
No, it's AMOLED. It's AMOLED. It's listed as AMOLED. At least that's what I'm looking at. It's listed as AMOLED. I could be wrong though. Change if it's. Look at Leon, man. Leon's crazy. He gave a super chat to let us.
No, you're right. That one is an OLED display.
Yeah, it's AMOLED. Shout out to Leo, gave a super chat just to let us know he feels like EMUI is trash. Appreciate it. You know, it is what it is. I mean, that's his. I respect his opinion, man. You know, but I don't feel any kind of certain way about that. You know, I think EMUI is buttery smooth. You know what I'm saying? And I have not had a problem with it at all. It definitely runs better than Samsung Experience. That's for sure. And Apple has like that buttery smooth run from iOS. That's just what it is, man.
And Xiaomi, Xiaomi's UI is optimized to the point where you like, wait, what am I using right now?
Yeah, Xiaomi, I like Xiaomi skin, man. I don't have a problem. I think EMUI is sweet though. And the fact that these phones have the 7-nanometer chip, I think they did that right, man.
Yeah.
That phone is going to fly. And
I like that they didn't put last year's chip in the X. Because you know how they do? They're like, okay, it's a bigger device. We're going to throw last year's chip in it. Which still, last year's chip wasn't bad, but you're like, now you're at the point where you when you're trying to decide, you don't have to worry about being like, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to, annex the X because it has last year's processor.
So what's up?
They put this year's processor.
Camera, man. What's up with the 40 megapixel?
Now, 40, 24, and an 8.
Pixels only mean so much for the pixel.
Yeah, but we already know. We've seen what the what is it? The P20 Pro can do.
Yes, we did.
And I believe it's just either the same cameras or a little bit, modified sensors or whatever. But the cameras on that thing is gonna be good. Are they going to be the best? Probably not, but they're going to be up there.
Yeah, I mean, again, to me, when you do a camera test, all of that is subjective, though, because, man, you can only say this is the best. Like, the reason that people try to say that cameras are not subjective is because you have a group of people saying that they're good, and you have like 7 people saying that I like this other one better. But cameras are always subjective. You can't, there's people that like a lot of saturation, and there's people that don't like a lot of saturation. There's people that like this color more, and there's people like the flatter look. But the issue with YouTube is when it comes to camera reviews, you'll have a group of people saying it's the best, and you need to listen to these people. And then you get all those followers that come along that never experienced the phone, or they may have it in hand, but they're so swayed by what the other people are saying. Yeah. It's subjective, man. It's subjective.
Yeah, because I like when for example, yesterday my niece was born, and there was 2 types of people in the room.
Congratulations.
The ones with iPhones, and then the ones with Samsungs. The iPhone pictures were totally different from the Samsung. We're talking about Samsung Galaxy Note 9s. Mm-hmm. I think it was a Galaxy S9s and the S8, and then the iPhone X and the iPhone XS Max. Mm-hmm. And the pictures came out totally different on both. And there was pictures that were taken that we liked more on the Galaxy devices, and there was pictures that we liked more on the Apple devices. Like I said, I feel like it's all about who's taking the picture, first of all, because there's some people, that just go in and click and take the picture, and that's it. For example, when I take the pictures, like I use the grids on the thing. People are like, why you got those grids up on your phone screen? Because I use my horizon line. This is when I'm taking pictures and stuff. Like I do a lot. If I'm doing a close-up photo, I'm going to do both, portrait mode. Some people might just take a regular picture. Some pictures might I like of a more natural color than an oversaturated color, because I feel like that's what the subject or the thing that I took a picture of actually looked like in real life. some people like it to be more of a punchy color, brighter colors and stuff.
Right.
I'm just like, I'd rather have with the device, because when you take a picture and somebody be like, oh, that's look nice. Is that, how it looks? And you're like, well, the camera, did oversaturate the color of that just a little bit. And when you look at this one, like, no, this is how it really looks. But like you said, it's all subjective to who's taking the picture and, what they like, what they want to see, what they want to get out of the picture. So the cameras.
You remember about 2.5 years ago, we were at CES and somebody had an iPhone and somebody had, remember the camera battle we had?
Oh, yeah. We was in a restaurant.
Yeah, it was totally subjective, man. But everybody really wanted to let everybody know that their camera, this one was better. The Mate 20, there's 40 megapixel cameras, man. I don't doubt that they're good, but everyone's eyes focus differently, and some things are just plain to see. Let's be honest. Some things you just, if a camera is really, really bad, sometimes we can all figure that out. But when cameras are really, really good, it is really difficult to differentiate what you consider the best, because like you just said, it's all about the person looking at the photo. Like I've had photos that I've taken that I thought were really solid, and somebody else came along and said, that don't look that good. It's overexposed over here and all this. And it's amazing how on social media we have all these photographers out there. I notice I post some pictures sometimes, and then it's just a picture. It's just something saying, hey, taking on the so-and-so. And I get these people that come along, oh, it's overexposed over here, and it's too wide over here. I just look at that like, man, come on, man. This is social media. It's just a quick photo to demonstrate how nice the cameras actually are for a phone. When you think about it, phones with cameras have come a very long way. They have come a long way. I remember when 0.03 was, oh my gosh, that's a fantastic photo. Now we got phones that take just as good photos and pictures as DSLRs. It's a matter of the person that's looking at that photo, and the person is saying, okay, well, I like this or I don't like this. And there's no wrong or right answer to that. And I think that's what happens when you get on YouTube. You see all these people saying, these are the best cameras. This is what you should buy. No other camera. Like it happened with the Pixel 2 XL last year. And the Pixel 2, everybody said, oh, these cameras are the best in the world. But there's people out there that don't like the Pixel 2X cameras, Pixel 2 cameras better than, you know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of opinion, man. And I think these 40 megapixels that they're rolling with, and the 20 and everything, and the 8, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool to check out. I saw what they did, but on those camera reviews at these events, they always post, the best of the best. They probably took 100 photos, and they probably have people vote on it. And it's more than that. Like what Apple always does, Apple does the thing about, we shot this entire thing on the iPhone and it was edited on the iPhone. Well, I've done that before too, and it don't look like what they're doing. They're using gimbals and all these special brackets and everything to get it to look what someone might consider perfect. And they set that expectation for the users thinking that they can do that, and it's just not the case. It's not the case.
No.
So 40 megapixels is going to be good. The battery.
4,000, then we have 4,200, and then we have 5,000.
5,000 milliamps. 5,000 milliamps. That's going to be crazy.
And somehow they kept the device light still.
Because it's possible. Like this is my Moto E5 Plus, and this has 5,000, but it's not the thinnest, but it's also not the thickest phone either. And I got it in the case, but this phone runs all day, man. Runs all day. I want to read some of these comments. Oh, first of all, real quick, shout out to the replay crew. We only been streaming for maybe 20 minutes, maybe, but shout out to the replay crew. These guys stop in every now and then afterwards because they couldn't sneak away from work. This is the first time I've done a live stream in the morning like this. Well, I haven't done a live stream in the morning in a long time. But I just wanted to say thank you to the replay crew. And for the guys that never can catch people live, catch it. Live stream is where it's at, man. Anytime you can catch a stream that's live, it's always a lot more fun. Shout out to everybody in the stream, man. I see you guys coming in saying what's up. For the stream is going really fast for me to get through these comments. But yeah, appreciate you guys, man. So we got Night Tech in the building with me today, doing a quick live stream, totally off the cuff, man. He hit me up and was like, Jay, are you watching the event? I'm like, no, I was taking care of something with the church. And I said, oh man, I forgot it was today. Checked it out. I went and watched the replay, and fast forward to right now. Here we are. So I'm curious to see how 10-minute tech I see, but I'm curious to see how this phone is going to match up against the Pixel and the iPhone and the Note 9. And also the Sony. People sleep on Sony, but Sony got some good cameras, man. Sony's cameras are just ridiculously good. But you got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in this phone, man. You got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I just because a phone, okay, let me go ahead and upset some people because I know they're gonna get upset. It's just how it is, man. Because I know there's people in here that have a Galaxy Note 9. Here's the thing, though. The size of the battery means absolutely jack if the phone is not optimized properly. And the best example right now is my Galaxy Note 9. Now, the Galaxy Note 9 has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. It does not get more than 6.5 hours of screen on time for me on a good day, but it's still better than the Exynos model that I had. So I feel like once you start getting into 4,000, 5,000, you should really be pulling in 8 hours of screen on time, because I got phones out there with 3,500 milliamp hour batteries that can do 8 hours of screen on time. I've got other phones with 5,000 milliamp hour batteries that can do 12 hours of screen on time. So the Huawei device with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, okay, so what? It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Is it actually going to get me at least 8 hours of screen on time? Can it do it? Because the iPhone XS Max, that thing, according to Apple standards, I've gotten 11 hours of screen on time before. I mean, optimization. What do you think, Knight?
Yeah, that's true. But let's see. Thinking back to Huawei's track record since the first 4,000 milliamp battery was the Note 9, I think. Mm-hmm. And that thing, the Note 9 and the Note 10, because I've had both, lasted long, man. Those batteries lasted really long. So Huawei must be doing something right.
They sure
I don't know, man.
But
it's also,
is that 7
nanometer
going to matter?
Huh?
Is that 7 nanometer chip going to matter?
Oh, it's definitely going to matter. It's definitely going to matter. That might push it farther than what it was getting. I don't really know. Plus, you got to look at the specs, say, for the which one is this? The P20. The P20 only has a 1080p LCD display, so you're going to get more battery life out of that one probably than out of the Quad HD one. Then again, that one's AMOLED, so it could go either way. Really,
LCD screens aren't bad, man. They just, and I've got some LCD screens that look fantastic, man. It's just a matter of it's showing off the darker colors better. That's ultimately what it is. The blacks, a dark brown color, just a darker color, dark gray. Ultimately, that's what it is. You're just getting a little bit more saturation with an AMOLED display too. And also with the AMOLED display, always on displays tend to look a little better. You can do a little bit more. But I think of all these phones, if I had to choose, choose one of these phones to use, right off the top, I started with the X because that's the one. Maybe I'm a part of a small crowd, but I actually like the X because I like how small it looks. Because again, the CEO had little hands, but it didn't look big in his hands. And we already know how big the other two are. You measure those next to a G7 or OnePlus, and you pretty much got the same size device, pretty much. But that 7.2-inch display is not going to be that big, man. I don't think it's going to be that big. So if I had to choose one of these as it stands right now, I probably would definitely take the that bigger one, the X. I would take it, man.
Plus, I like those two, the 20, the Mate 20. I keep on about to say the P20, the Mate 20 and the Mate 20X. I don't really care what's in the whole notch thing, but they got the smaller notch also. I think they look better also with that smaller, water drop or whatever they calling it notch. you get more screen real estate on those two than the one with the. I don't even know why they actually went with the notch, to tell the truth. Well, they wanted, like I said, they threw everything in there. So I guess that's the device that you know, if you buy, they're like, what do people always say? You'd rather have something than not have it. So I guess.
Yeah, people say that all the time. I'd rather have it. And again, I'm not picking on note owners, but a lot of Galaxy Note owners say, well, I'd rather have all that stuff I'm not going to use and then to not have it. But the problem with that is having a bunch of stuff on your phone can also hurt your phone. It's like you go get that credit card and you got it and you don't use it. Eventually, that's going to hurt your credit, you know, because the credit is not making any money off of you. So shout out to Technically T and LaShawn just stepped in. What's going on? I'll see you guys. I'm on my other profile with the chat. So if you see the 392 silver bullet, that's just me. But yeah, man, the having a bunch of stuff on a phone that you're not even going to use, what's the purpose of that?
There is no purpose.
There is no purpose of that. So I feel like what's going on, man? I see you. Devil Dog is watching on his Vivo Next, and Night Tech is streaming from the Vivo Next. So all you guys just stepping in. What's going on, man? I see you. Oh, Eden stepped in. What's going on, Eric? I see you, man. The Huawei event was. Let's move on to the next event because I don't want to get. I was about to give like a final thoughts on something, but I can't do it yet, man. I can't do it. I'm gonna hold off. So let's move on to the next phone because I've already kind of made my mark, man. I'm all in with this. I was gonna say Vivo Next. The X, the Mate 20X. I'm really feeling it because I know a lot of people won't have it, and then it's got that. It's all screen. Like I know you guys saw, it's all screen, and it's not going to be very big. It's not going to be very big. But across the board, these all have the 7-nanometer chip. And what other phone has it? Just the iPhone right now. So that alone, coupled with that Kirin 980, it's going to blow some stuff away. It's going to blow some stuff away, man. And people are going to sleep on it. People are going to be like, oh, man, you know, that people are going to find a reason not to like it before they get, like people hating on the 10R. People hating on that phone, and it's not even out yet, son. It's not even available yet. It's just getting ready to come up on pre-order, and people already have it set in their mind that it's a bad phone. And that's what's going to happen with every phone. Every phone that comes out gets criticized in some way. But the sad part is you have people, key influencers. Sometimes they jump online and they already had the phone. They even wrote a review of it, and they only had it for like 10 hours or 3 hours. They already got a full review out. And unfortunately, a lot of people follow those videos instead of the videos 6 months later or 3 months later for people who are actually using the phone. Like it doesn't matter at this point. I'm gonna answer a question from EL Summers real quick. But it doesn't matter about you know the phone. It's you got to get it in hand. You got to use it. You got to use it, man. So and that's why I lie on all of these, man. You got to use it, man. So EL Summers says, hey Jay, but what if the XR or what if the 10R is not as good as you think it will be? Well, first of all, I don't have any expectations about how good the phone is going to be. The expectations that I have is this. It's the more logical choice for me. And iOS 12 is going to run the same on all iPhones. I mean, think about this. iOS 12 is on the iPhone SE. That phone's been out how long? It's got that old processor and it's still running like a champ, right? So how could the 10R be bad in any kind of way? Well, subjective. I could not like the size of it. I could say, oh, I like my 10S Max better. But other than that, what else can you hate on about the 10? Not you, but what else can people dislike about the 10R? People are still riding this wave about, oh, it's overpriced. Listen, if you're still saying stuff like that, something's wrong. Something's wrong, son, because all of these phones are overpriced. It amazes me how people say that the 10R is overpriced and iPhone's overpriced. Listen, Samsung phone's overpriced. Google's phone's overpriced. All of these phones are overpriced. Stop being blind, man. Look, if you're paying more than $300 for a phone or $400 for a phone, I've said it multiple times, and you're justifying these, like you're talking down on people who use, not anyone in particular, I'm just saying in general, people who talk down on people who buy iPhones, you got to get a wake-up call, man. You got a phone that's $1,000 too, and so you think that's better. So the people who buy iPhones are dumb. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like these Mate devices are going to run $1,000, right? People are going to say those are not worth it. Why? Sony phones. They put out a phone, and if you're just coming in, I started a stream with this. People are always going to say that another phone is bad because they like something else. Those people are in a bubble about this big right here. They don't know anything about all the other things they're missing out on. Just because you want to spend $1,000 on a phone that you think is great, you can't tell the next person that their choice is bad. And that's what's going to happen with Huawei phone. Huawei is going to release these phones, and they're going to say it's $999. Okay, now so first of all, Night Tech, remember, they didn't even give me the U.S. stuff. They ain't giving the U.S. pricing and all like that. We can convert it, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be $1,000. People are gonna say, but I don't know if I should spend $1,000 for this. How is and my response to that is, but we give it. I said it about myself, but I'm getting ready to give $900 for another iPhone. Just spent $1,300 on an iPhone. Just spent $1,100 on a Note. Why wouldn't I give these other phones a chance? And I'm only doing that because I do these tech reviews and I'm fortunate enough to do it. However, a lot of people are buying phones. What my hybrid set and what my finance gang at. That's the majority of the people that are doing it that way. Most people don't want to admit that though. You know, some people, oh, you bragging because you can pay full cost. No. You can pay full cost too. You choose not to, and you're smart for doing that. You're smart for doing that. I'm the dummy for paying full cost, but I know that eventually I'm going to flip these off and sell them, or basically they're free to me after I do enough YouTube videos. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I'm able to do it. But if I wasn't doing YouTube, do you think I would actually be going out spending all this money on these phones? Of course not. Let's be real here, man. Finance gang in the house and hybrids will stay in the house. But finance gang, man, there's a lot of people out there who fronting, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I spent that. Man, you finance that thing, man. You finance it. And when I say finance, I'm talking about carriers. But there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not taking a shot at these people, but these are people who tend to have one phone and they think it's the best. And that's iPhone people and that's Galaxy Note people. Just straight up, they have just these one phones and they don't give any other phone a chance. And I remember when I said, if I give you the Vivo Next for 2 weeks or a month and you have to put down your current phone, you will like the Vivo Next. That is innovation. That's not what Apple is doing, not what Samsung is doing. That's not innovation. Those are incremental changes that we're getting charged for. And if you follow tech, I know you know that those are small changes. When I said about the Note, being, you know, I made two videos about the Note 9, and I'll say, you know what, hey, you know, if you have those videos for Note 8 people, but some of the people with small brains got on those videos and thought that I was saying it for everybody, but it was for Note 8 people who were kind of indecisive. When you think about it, Samsung didn't change the design, and somebody, oh yes they did, they changed it. Okay, man, if you want to justify and validate why you just dropped all that money for that phone, perfectly fine, son. Keep doing that. But I'm telling you, innovation is not coming from the US right now, especially not Apple. I mean, come on, Apple's like a slap in the face. They won't even give us a fast charging brick and they're taking away stuff. Huh? That's crazy. These Mate devices are going to drop. Hey, Night. Okay, so for the people in the stream and the people watching the stream, what would you do? What do you say that Huawei drops all these phones? One is $899, one is $999, and one is $1199. Are those bad prices?
No, considering what we're paying for these other flagship devices, no. Because you got the Pro, you got everything in this device but the kitchen set. There's nothing that you can't say, hey, you got an in-screen fingerprint scanner, right? There's no Apple doesn't have it, Samsung doesn't have it, Huawei has it, right? You have reverse wireless charging. Nobody has that but Huawei right now. You have 3 cameras. Only who is the other? LG has 3 cameras. Samsung has that A9 with 4, but from the reviews I've seen on that's a but there's nobody really doing the stuff that Huawei's doing right now. They have everything that these other let's exclude Apple. They have everything that all these other Android OEMs are doing and more. So why wouldn't you pay $1,000 to get all these other features that the other OEMs don't have? Why not pay $1,000 for facial recognition and in-screen fingerprint scanner? Why not pay $1,000 for 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage and a SD card slot with the new nano SD card that Huawei pioneered? Like, they're the only persons that have these. They're announcing things that all these other OEMs that's supposed to be the big top OEMs, Samsung and Apple and all these other companies don't have. So why wouldn't you pay $1,000 for on paper, a better device? Because when people buy the device before they get their hands on it, what are they buying it off of? Off of what's on paper, not what they have experienced.
Somebody else said in most cases.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why wouldn't you pay $1,000? I'm not gonna lie. If that got announced right alongside the iPhone, I probably went with the Mate.
And see, I mean, I know this stream is about Huawei and everything, but it's bigger than Huawei. It's about the mobile industry, period. And there's some good comments being made in the comment section, man. I appreciate you guys talking about that. But it's not like we want to pay $1,000. I had to clear that up. I don't want to pay $1,000. However, this is where we are. So unfortunately, the industry has tricked us into believing that we got to pay $1,000 in order to get a good phone, which is just not true. This phone right here costs $200. And if I had to keep this for 2 years, I would make it work. And it also does a lot of things that my $1,300 phone can't do, which is make it through 2 days, 3 days. I made it through a full weekend with this phone, man, with no charge. And it doesn't do any good to have this powerhouse phone that they're going to bring out, or any OEMs, and it can't last you. It can't last you a full day. It can't last you 2 days. We should be getting onto these OEMs. Even Huawei, while they didn't do an incremental upgrade on this phone, they still can do more. Like, I feel like the X should have a much bigger battery than the other two. It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, but we got phones with 5,000 milliamp hour batteries, and we've had plenty of them. Make the X even better. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's a niche phone, it's not going to be a phone that they expect to sell 1 million of, but Samsung didn't expect to sell 1 million of the Notes. Everybody laughed at the Note, but when the Note hit, that thing hit hard, man. It is a beast. The Note line is a beast line, you know what I'm saying? But we've gotten to the point now where phones, the pricing, everything is done based on what somebody else thinks. I think a lot of people are buying phones based on what somebody else says. That's why when I do stuff with phones, I tell you, hey, don't take my word for it. You got to buy it and try it. Don't be afraid to just shoot out there and spend your money and get it. You gotta do it yourself. You can't just always go on what somebody else is saying. You know what I mean? That's just not how. But unfortunately, a lot of people, that's all they have to go on, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying? They can't just go out and spend. Even if they're not paying full cost, they don't have it in them to just swipe their credit card for the down payment or whatever. They just don't have time to do it. The average consumer is not testing out phones first to see what they're going to buy. They just go in and buy the phone they want. And another phone that I think is going to hit hard, that the Mate 20 and the Mate 20 Pro and even the Mate 20X is competing against every phone in the market. I'm gonna stop separating, the Galaxy Note, the iPhone. I'm gonna stop separating these phones, because when I review phones, that's just a one-up that those phones have. In the end, they're all just phones. They all need to make phone calls. They all need to have good battery. A nice screen is appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Features and functionality is appreciated. But in the end, you gotta have it's gotta level out, and some things that you can't deny. If it's got bad battery, it's got bad battery. And remember, that depends on the user though. If it's got bad battery, if it's functional, if the screen is tacky, if the design is bad, all these things, You know, if the cameras are good, you know, it needs to check several boxes. And a lot of phones today don't check all those boxes to make it complete. It's lacking in some area or another. And that's just how it's going to be. Now, the OnePlus 6T is coming. I think the OnePlus 6T is still, you should be able to get a OnePlus 6T at a great price, brand new. The OnePlus 6T, I hate to go on record and say it, but the OnePlus 6 is probably a better purchase than several of the flagships out there, quote unquote flagships. It's probably a better purchase than a lot of the flagships because it's half the cost and it's offering a little bit better performance, more than likely. It's definitely got more RAM. It's got the same internals. You know what I'm saying? The Vivo Nex is another one that's definitely offering. I can't stress enough. The Vivo Nex is innovation to me. It's heading in the direction that I want the industry to go in. And, you know, but the sad part is phones that come too quick, they don't get the recognition. They don't get the recognition that they deserve. It gets overlooked. But the people who have those phones, they know, they're thinking, wait a minute, I've been doing this for 6 months now, you know? So, but it's just not phones that are offered everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So if you, for people that have the iPhone XS Max, and for people that have the Galaxy Note 9, how do you feel like, do you think those phones are truly innovation? Because I don't think innovation comes out of the US. And I think everything that they're doing is being taken from the OEMs outside of the US. Because you think about the pricing and the hardware, think about that. You got the Mi A2, the Mi A1s, those Android One devices. Those are Nexus, well, those are stock Android killer phones right there. But some people say, oh, it doesn't work with LTE in the US. It doesn't work everywhere with LTE in the US. Everybody that I know that has a Mi A2 or a Mi A1, they're getting full LTE in the US. That's
what I've
noticed. You know what I'm saying? I get full LTE and several other people get full LTE. But phones like that are killing the phones in the US, but they're not released in the US. You see what I'm saying? So they're not officially for sale over here. But is the iPhone XS Max or XS innovation? Apple people would say, oh, but the next iteration is going to be the one that change. That's a reasoning behind why I spent this money. But the Note's going to change next year. I mean, are those phones? I mean, I know you. Well, what do you think? I don't know what you think. What do you think? Is that innovation? You hold the innovation?
The only thing innovation I could say, and it's, you know, a couple of companies are getting there now, would be honestly with the iPhone, you know, 10, XS, and XS Max would be the whole development, and you can't even really give that to Apple. You gotta give that to LG and Samsung for the screen, for the the wrap on the screen. So you can't even. So no, not really, because they didn't come up with that. They just put it in their device. So no, not at all. All these devices are basically the same, in my opinion. You hear me say it all the time. All these devices internally are basically the same. We're at a time and point now where people are not buying. They're buying these devices for, you know, the specs, not the average consumer. The average consumer is worried about the camera and if the screen's nice. And maybe if it has enough, you know, memory. But other than that, they're not going into a store going, excuse me, sir, does this have the Snapdragon 845? Does it have 6 gigabytes of RAM? Does it have at least 128 gigabytes of storage? Does it have, you know, a camera with optical image stabilization and all this other stuff? No, they're going in. First thing they're gonna, the ultimate decision, and this is maybe it's just my opinion, but I feel like when people go to buy a phone, the ultimate decision on what they buy is how the phone looks. Mm-hmm. If a person doesn't like the way a phone looks, they're not going to buy it. So the phone could have last year's specs and look good, and they look at the phone like, oh man, I like the way this one looks. Test out the camera. Oh, the camera's good. Oh, okay. It has enough memory for me to store my pictures. Okay, I'll take this one.
You know, it's funny you brought that up because I was talking about that on the stream last week with Technically T, and I was trying to get them. I was telling them, I said, there's no way that a person will buy a phone if they don't like how it looks. That's just not how it works. You walk up to something, if it looks really good, you buy it. Now, there's some stuff in the comments in there in the stream I want to talk about. So Gadget Beer says that they may have superior hardware, but the lackluster software experience. And I don't know if he's talking about phones that are not from the US, but again, that's all subjective, because in reality, in most people's experience that I know, they think that Huawei phones, Xiaomi phones run like a champ. And the reason being, the reason those phones are getting better batteries is because they're optimized better. And that's all subjective, whether or not you like the overlay that there's on one of those phones. But the great part about Android is, if you don't like it, you know what you can do? Put a different skin on it.
Yep.
Different skin on it. And then there's another one up here from E. Summers that says, how many phones give you a full desktop experience like the Note? Huawei phones do. I don't know if you know that. I don't know how many Huawei phones you have, but you don't need any kind of special software. You just plug up HDMI and you just plug it right in.
I believe if I watched this event today correctly, I believe now that you can cast the thing to the TVs now without, if you have a Miracast TV or if you buy the dongle. I believe they said you can cast the desktop mode to the TVs now. But Huawei, Samsung did come out with DeX first, but if you remember, Huawei came out with their desktop thing, and you didn't need a DeX to do it. You just needed a cord.
That's right. But shout out to John Mooring in the house. I see you, man. But I think a lot of people, when they're buying a phone, after you buy that phone, listen, you don't. Some people don't know that they're doing this though. You're just justifying why you like the phone, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't convince other people of what your reasoning is right. Because in reality, we're just a bunch of guys sitting at a table, and ladies talking about tech, and everybody's going to feel like they're right at some point or another. And sometimes multiple people agree and some people disagree. But the fact is, nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong. It's a matter of what you look into. Your eyes are your camera lens, and that's what you're looking out of. If you think it's great, then it's great. But the desktop experience thing, it's pretty.
A lot of people don't use that. A lot of people have their laptop or their tablet.
Listen, even though I can plug in my Galaxy Note 9 to the TV or to my monitor, and I can plug it into a TV, I can plug it in anything. How often do I want to do that? That is like a 0.00000. That's a small percentage of people. I guarantee you, the customers who have the Note, first of all, they don't want to buy the extra stuff to do it. They don't even want to buy the USB cable to do it, which costs about, what, $20 or so, depending on if you want to get a good one. People aren't using those things. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that some people, and I'm not saying anyone in particular, shout out to Gadget Beer, respect the comment. I'm just piggybacking off of that. But I'm just telling you, people don't use all these things. All these people who I see bragging about how great the Note 9 is. Shout out to E.L. Summers. This isn't to anybody in particular, but I have the phones, and I'm telling you, people don't use these things. This is why the iPhone is one of the top-selling phones, because in reality, people don't want that stuff. Those are things that the OEMs throw in there to try to get you to buy their product and say that it's better. And for some reason, the iPhone has become the benchmark of cell phones. Like, everybody wants to compare everything against the iPhone, when in reality, this Mate 20 blows away the iPhone XS Max. This is the 100 here. It's not that it offers more and all that. It's definitely probably got better cameras, because I don't think the iPhone XS Max cameras are the greatest in the world. You know what I'm saying? I think the Vivo Nex has superior cameras than a lot of phones on the market, but people don't have the Vivo Nex S. They don't have it. A lot of people just don't have it. But the people who have it know. Wow. But I think so many people, man, get caught up into the marketing part of these companies. That's why you got so many people that are so loyal to Samsung, especially the Galaxy Note owners. Oh my gosh, man. They almost annoy me at some point because they're so adamant about pushing that the Note is the best phone in the world. Spoiler, it's not the best phone in the world to me. It's a good phone, but it's not the best in the world, man. Come on. The next Note will be the best phone in the world. The next iPhone will be the best phone in the world. Come on, son. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
You already know how I stand with all these phones. Like I said, they all the same to me. Like this whole, okay, I've had the ZTE Nubia Red Magic gaming phone. Okay, so gaming phones are supposedly the new thing, whatever. The Razer phone, the Black Shark, all these devices are coming out. Now, there's people out there already saying, I've watched videos saying that the new Razer phone 2 is the best, phone you can buy for the price. I'm like, right there, that's subjective because depending on who the person is, that might be too much for that phone in their personal opinion. But when I compare devices, I compare, not just, notes and da. I compare the tech in iPhones, notes, and all this stuff. And when you look at them as a whole, the internals are basically the same. The company usually just throws in something that stands out, from the other devices, like the Razer Phone 2. You get the forward-facing speakers and the 120 hertz display. Okay, let's talk about that. A lot of people that buy cell phones probably don't even know what what 120 hertz display even is. So that might not even be a factor. There's people out there that like bezels. There's people out there that dislike bezels. So that's going to make their purchasing, of this product. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I heard this device, and they can show up and be like, oh wait, what's going on with these bezels? I like the way the speakers sound, but the bezels, man, they're too big. Or they're like, I like the way they could be like, I like the way this phone looks, but I'm not gonna use it as a gaming phone. I just want it as my normal phone. Then you have people, like I said, it comes down to what devices also look like. Because there's people out there that love the way the Razer phone, the first one and the second one look. And there's people has the new RGB. People are excited about that because it has lights on the back, just like the Razer laptops.
And Nighttech, I want you to look at this comment. I want you to address this because I think it's hilarious. It's in the comments from Alim Gizar. He says, you can't trust these Chinese companies who require you to collect all your data. Listen, I'm not going to bust you out on
Hold on. Before you say anything, Jay. Hold on. Before you say anything. You can't trust these Chinese companies that require, what do you say? Require us to collect all our data. Facebook. That's what I'm going to say. Facebook. Is anybody else here in America with me? Facebook. Google is in freaking Google. They just announced that they freaking whole Google Plus thing gave everybody information away. So it has nothing to do with Chinese companies. Everybody does that.
This government, I mean, if you're not in the U.S., maybe it's different, but we're being watched everywhere. If you have something that has a camera on it, it can be remotely turned on, whether you next to it. Okay, think about this now. Anything you do and everything you do, you're being watched. Your data is collected, son. There's no way to avoid it. Nowhere. Your credit card has a chip in it. Your wallet is not protected. There is so many. It's all about getting our money. I'm not buying a wallet that's supposed to protect somebody from stealing my identity from my credit card. If you walk by me and bump into me, I'm going to put them hands on you. And if it was a mistake, it was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting ready to just buy all these things to protect myself from all these hackers. I don't even care about all that stuff. You steal my credit card, I'll just file a claim. The point is, we are being watched and all of our data is being taken. Stop being I'm not saying you, Aline. I'm just saying in general, if people honestly believe that the Chinese government is the only one that wants our data, come on, man. Do you see who y'all elected for president? Stop it, son. We can't do politics. We can't.
And you don't think the U.S. is selling stuff and sending it to China and trying to get their information? Because they are. There's every country on this planet is trying to get the other country's information. That's what they do. It's been like that since the beginning of time.
It's not just every app that I have on my phone requires me to give my phone book. And I'm like, why in the world do you give my phone book?
The Vivo Next. How many times when you started up your Vivo Next and you started installing these apps and they started asking for you to allow for certain stuff, did your camera pop out?
Yeah.
Anyway,
man, back to tech. I hope I can get the Mate Pro. the X version. I hope I can get that version. I know it's going to be tough, and I'm willing to wait. You know what I'm saying? When the Mate 20 Pro drops, it's going to be 1,000. Those are going to be about 1,000, I'm sure. But I'm not in a hurry to buy those. I'm in a hurry to get the other one on the side. I think that the X is going to be one for me. And I saw technically T said, earlier in the chat, he said, the Mate 9 is the most complete phone for him. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. Respect it. But in the end, for me, I can do email on other phones, just like I can do on a Note 9. The only one up, man, and it just seems to be, now, if you don't know who technically T is, let me just enlighten you. He's pro iPhone, whether he wants to. He's openly admitted to this. He loves the iPhone, and he's always been on the iPhone. He recently joined the Mac Club. Shout out to the iMac crew, and he's definitely pro Apple. And at least that's the way I perceive him to be pro Apple. But he feels like the Note 9 is a complete phone for him. But if a phone can email, only thing the Note 9 has is the S Pen. That is it, man. That is all it has. And let me tell you something. I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't care if people think I'm pro whatever. I'm actually pro BlackBerry and WebOS, for those that really know me. But the problem is nobody's challenging Samsung in that arena. LG is the only one that has gotten close. Now, in Apple, and if Apple were to release a device with pen input, the Note doesn't stand a chance then, man. It really doesn't. Because the things that you can do on the Note with the S Pen are fantastic. But nobody's challenging Samsung with that. If Apple were to do that, and the reason I'm using Apple as an example is because they get more attention than the Samsung does, right? There's commercials for Apple for everywhere. If Apple were to release a device with pen input and that pen slides out the top or the side or the back or whatever, Samsung can hang it up, man. You Note fans, I'm just saying, you can hang it up. Because the reason why is because the iPhone is considered the best phone in the world, right? Remember, everybody thinks the iPhone is the best phone in the world. Then you're going to see all these teenagers walking around. Because my youngest daughter, she draws, but she likes an iPhone. Listen, if Apple releases an iPhone with pen input, it's a wrap, son. They already did it with the iPad. And I bet they're already working on it. But they want to wait and say they created it. What they're doing right now is they're trying to figure out a way to say that they innovated something, which they probably didn't. But, Apple just innovates everything. But Huawei, the Mate X has pen input. But people won't even care about it because the Galaxy Note is known for the S Pen. If you have to carry a separate device, that's another thing that people don't like. People don't like to carry a separate device, like a separate pen. That's why this Palm add-on is just, what were they thinking? Like, come on. We can talk about that for a minute too, Night Tech. But what were they thinking?
I don't know what that thing even is, man.
I don't know what Palm was thinking. We're going to get to that in a minute. Apple folks care, honestly. T said, I don't know about that, Jay. I don't think Apple folks care to have a pen, honestly. But see, here's the thing with that, T. People don't know what they want until you tell them. That's marketing 101. That's why nobody's challenging Samsung right now, because everybody believes that Samsung, and I'm not saying I'm right, and I respect your opinion, obviously, you know me, but I'm just saying Apple has way better way better marketing than any other company that I know of. They got millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people thinking that the iPhone is the best phone in the world. It is what it is. And if Apple decides to release something with a pen, in my opinion, I think the Note line is a wrap. And I'm not saying the Note line is going to go away or they're going to lose customers. I'm saying there's more people running out to buy iPhones than Samsung Galaxy Notes 9s. Do you disagree? Anybody disagree with that? They're selling more Galaxy Notes than iPhones?
Nope.
Silence. It's silence. I don't believe that there's more Galaxy Notes being sold than the iPhones. It's not happening. It's not happening. So when I say that doesn't mean that the Note line is a bad line or it's going to go away. Man, my arms hurt. I did weights yesterday. That doesn't mean that the Note line is a bad line and that I hate the Note line and da da da. No. It means that Apple is getting ready to take that and run with it. Because when they did
people
it,
are going to buy it.
People, listen, and if it's a part that comes out of the phone, it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, dude. The Note is fantastic, but even the people, some people, you know, how many people switched from Android to get the iPhone XS Max? That's all I saw, man. Oh, I left I'm switching from Android to XS Max. Is amazing. I saw it.
I did.
Well, Nitek, he switched to Apple full time because of XS Max. But he still got Android phones, but still. I want to read a comment from Devil Dog. Check the comment out. It says, I have a Galaxy Note 9, 512 gig, and I like it. The camera is great, but the innovation of the Vivo Nex S and its cameras is amazing. Enough said. Enough of it. I truly believe. What does it say? Are you saying more iPhone or more phones? I don't know what you're saying. You know these comments. Yeah, iPhones everywhere, man. And that's where in the US, but see the problem with people thinking that Apple is the best. In the US, they tell you, oh, we're the #1 company, we're $1 trillion company. But in reality, who's winning overseas? Everybody knows it's Xiaomi. Xiaomi is like the Apple overseas. Their stores are the same, and they're selling a boatload of Xiaomi phones, man. It's unreal. They have Xiaomi stores set up over there, just like Apple has a few set up over here. It's a lot of people buying Xiaomi phones. A whole bunch. And unfortunately, let's move to the Palm joint real quick, man. What you think about the Palm? What you think about the Palm add-on, man? It's not even a phone. So what you think about that?
I don't even know what to think about that thing, man. It's just I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what was their mind state when they were creating this device. Like, did somebody actually stand up and go, hey guys, instead of creating a device, you know, a standalone device, we should freaking create something that people can use with their already existing Android device. Like, who's gonna go out and go, oh man, look at that. I can use that with my Note 9. I can use that with my Vivo Nex, man. Why wouldn't I'm like, I don't understand what's the point of the whole thing.
Well, I see what they're trying to do. And shout out to the guy in the chat. He said that Huawei actually has more sales. But if Huawei has more sales, that's still Xiaomi is like the Apple overseas. There's not as many Huawei stores. There's Xiaomi stores everywhere, and they're selling a boatload of them. But Palm, man, man, I don't know what was happening right there. I really like Palm, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know what the thinking and the logic was behind that. And I already put out a video on it. You already know what it says, but they limited it to Verizon. It costs $350. It's only available through add-on. So that means Verizon customers can't even buy it. Huh? What? I gave my synopsis on this. I felt like Palm should have just released it as an Android phone for $99. Unlocked.
I don't know, man. I feel like the thing should have been like $50.
No. It's got a 12 megapixel camera. It's got a 12. You crazy? It's got a 12 megapixel camera and an 8 on the front, dude. It's supposed to have really good footage, and it's 3.3 inches. That's another thing. The bad part about this type of release is that it's a good thing that they're releasing it as an add-on, but in reality, they should have just released that phone and made it like a 5.7-inch display and just released it, or a 6-inch display and released it, because who wants to deal with the screen?
Is the purpose of the phone for you to disconnect from your phone? I just don't. The Palm, I just don't get what it does, man. I feel like if it's trying to have you, not use your device more, I don't understand what the whole point of it is. Like, who's actually gonna go out there, spend $350 on a device that is supposed to stop you from using your phone more? I just don't understand it. Wouldn't you just not use your regular phone more? I'm just scrolling through the comments, guys. Let's see what we got here. It's not Palm OS, it's just a tiny Android. What's the point? That's what I'm saying. I thought when they brought back Palm, it was going to be like the old Palm, but newer hardware and improved system OS, but I guess not. I feel like they bought it and don't know what to do with it. Like Nokia came back and they're making Nokia phones, which are some of them look great, but what Palm is doing, I have no idea. With because what TCL bought them, right? So I don't know. I don't think they know what to do with it at this point. Yeah, I don't see anybody buying this Palm device. The the reviewers that got it are probably going to be the only ones that actually have this device. Yeah, that's another thing. TCL making BlackBerry, they making Palm, Alcatel, Alcatel, whatever it's called. They they're all over the place. They just buying up any TCL, like, yo, we buying up any deceased old OEMs. They need the money, they selling it for the low, we gonna buy it and we gonna run with it. Yeah, they make good TVs, I guess. I don't know, I don't have one. I always see them all over the place with like Roku built in. I don't see WebOS coming back at all. It's too late for another like operating system to just pop up. I don't see another operating system come, at least not in the present moment. Future, who knows? But for right now, nope. Is anybody in the chat thinking about getting any of these Huawei devices, these new Huawei devices? Well, if you're in the US, I don't really know if they actually come into the US, like I said earlier, but if they do come to the US with any of these Huawei devices, maybe the Pro or the Mate X, because last year they didn't bring the Mate 10 to the US. They only brought the Pro. So if they do release one of these devices in the US, is anybody going to buy one?
I am.
Welcome back, Jay. Where'd you go?
Man, my alarm. Somebody was on my front porch. Somebody was on my front porch. But yeah, I got like 5 boxes coming in today. But
we've come to the conclusion that the Palm device has no purpose at all.
It doesn't have a purpose. And I really feel like Uno Nights, I see you, man. That's what's up, man. Uno Nights is here. Yeah, I came back randomly. Like I said before, we still on Palm or what?
Yeah, we can still talk about.
That's all I gotta say. It's $99. $99, son. They messed up by not dropping this as an unlocked device for $99 if they're going to keep that small size. But if they would have went big with it and kept it the same, like a 5.7 inch or a 6 inch, $299, make your interest back into the Android field. Give it a Snapdragon 835, something, to make it appealing. And but this add-on thing, I don't know nothing about that, son.
Yo, no, I just realized.
Come back though.
What I just realized is the Mate 20X is a souped up Honor 8X Max, bro.
Yeah, when we were talking earlier, that's what I was saying. I was like,
yeah, it's the 8X Max souped up, basically.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So, man, I had to knock out a morning stream. This has been a busy morning for me. Oh my gosh, man! It's like alarm system, just everything, man. Shout out to the 3 haters that came through. I guess we said something to upset them, so they disliked the video. But traffic is better than no traffic. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I don't know if I've ever gotten a thumbs down on a live stream, but hey, salute to those 3 people. You stood up and you did your thing. Now, the 21 people who thumbed up, I appreciate it. Hey, it's 175 people in here. It was like 200 people. Everybody take a second and hit the thumbs up video. Hit the thumbs up on the video. Just let me hit it too. No, you can't thumbs up yourself. And side note, I don't like when people like their own comments or thumbs up their own videos. What?
Hey, I can thumbs up it.
That doesn't make any sense to like your own. I mean, I don't.
I just liked it. This is not my stream.
Your own horn. What? Doesn't make any sense, man.
This is not my stream, so I could thumbs up it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. Yeah, man. Live stream in the morning. Don't normally do that, especially on a Tuesday. You don't know it, but I have Bible study on Tuesdays. And I got to get ready for Bible study in a little bit. So I appreciate you guys coming through, man, and hanging with me and Anthony. My bad. Night Tech, salute. Night Tech reviews. I appreciate you guys coming through. It's always a pleasure to do a live stream with you guys. I'll be on a live stream. They're on an Apple device. What's up, Philip Vaughn? I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the super chat. And everybody who's super chat, I appreciate it. I want to thank you guys for coming through, man, and hanging with us for a little bit. It's always good. You know what I'm saying? T, you better get back to work, man. You supposed to be at work. Nah, he working from home. I already got you. But it's your man Jay. Got Night Tech, man. I'm gonna let Night Tech close out, man. It's your man Jay. I will see you guys on the other side. Shout out to Leon switched it. He said EMUI is awesome. Shout out for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. I'll let Night Tech take the reins on out before we close out, man, because I got a lot of stuff to do. I got a lot of editing to do and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys, man. It's your man Jay. Night Tech, you can close us out, baby.
Yo, it's your boy Night Tech. You already know what it is. Go ahead and follow my man Jay Wills on his Twitter, his Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Night Tech Views, Mr. Knight _8520. You already know what it is. If you're going to buy that Huawei Mate 20 or Mate 20 Pro, whatever it is, leave some comments in the comment section below. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed to Jay Will. Go subscribe to me, Night Tech. And we out. Peace. Enjoy your day.
One last thing on the way out.
Oh.